My child, before you scroll past this, before you let the next distraction pull your eyes away, I need you to pause, just for a moment. I know how heavy your mind feels right now. I see the invisible weight you are carrying on your shoulders, the racing thoughts that keep you awake in the quiet hours of the night, and the silent battles you have been fighting when no one else is watching. I know you are tired. I know you feel like you are pushing against a wall that will not move. But you cannot ignore this message. This is not an accident. This did not reach you by chance. I have interrupted your day specifically because there is something the enemy is desperately trying to hide from you. Right now, the enemy is hoping you will swipe away. They are hoping you will tell yourself that you do not have time for this, that this is just another video, that you will listen later when you're less overwhelmed. But later is the trap they have been using to keep you wandering in circles. The enemy does not need to destroy you loudly. They only need to distract you quietly. They know that if they can keep your eyes lowered to your current struggles, you will not look up to see the massive breakthrough I have already set in motion for you. They are terrified of what you are about to step into. I am speaking to you now with loving urgency. I am not here to add another task to your endless list. I am not here to point out your flaws or tell you that you are not praying hard enough. I am here to lift your chin and speak absolute truth over the chaos in your mind. The attacks you have been facing lately, the sudden anxiety, the unusual exhaustion, the feeling that everything is going wrong at once, these are not signs that you are failing. They are signs that you are dangerously close to your victory. Stay with me here. Do not let the noise of this world pull you back into the current of worry. Let your breathing slow down. Let the tension in your chest release. You are safe right here in this moment with me. I need you to understand why the resistance has been so strong lately. The enemy cannot stop what I have planned for you. They have no authority over your destiny, no power over the doors I've already unlocked, and no ability to cancel the blessings with your name on them. Because they cannot stop the plan, their only strategy is to try and stop you from believing in it. But I will not let them win. Stay here and let me show you what is actually happening behind the scenes of your life. I have watched you carry a weight that was never meant for your shoulders. I have seen the moments when you retreated into quiet rooms, feeling utterly depleted, wondering why every step forward seems to be met with 2 steps back. You have asked me in your heart, Lord, why is it so hard right now? Why does the promised blessing feel so far away? My beloved child, the resistance you feel is not a sign of my absence. It is the clearest proof of my presence and the sheer magnitude of what I am preparing for you. The enemy does not wage war against an empty vessel. The enemy does not send heavy distractions and delays towards someone who is not a threat. Do you understand this? The intensity of the spiritual battle you are in right now is a direct reflection of the greatness of the breakthrough that is waiting on the other side. They are trying to exhaust you because they know they cannot defeat you. If they can make you tired enough to sit down, if they can make you frustrated enough to give up, if they can make you numb enough to stop listening for my voice, then they can delay what they cannot destroy. But I am stepping in today to break that cycle of exhaustion. I am reaching into the very depths of your weariness to breathe fresh life into your spirit. The lies that have been whispering in your ear, the ones telling you that nothing will ever change, that you have missed your opportunity, that you are destined to struggle, those lies are being silenced right now. I command the heavy clouds of confusion, anxiety, and overthinking to lift from your mind. You are not forgotten, and your pain has not gone unnoticed. Even when the heavens felt completely silent, I was working fiercely behind the scenes. I was rearranging circumstances, moving obstacles, and aligning the exact right pieces for your next season. What felt to you like a painful delay was actually my divine protection. I was keeping you hidden until you were ready, and I was holding back the blessing until it was safe for you to carry it. The enemy thought the waiting period would break your faith, but I used it to forge your resilience. Do not let go now. Do not surrender to the fatigue. You have survived too much, and you have fought too hard to walk away just before the dawn breaks. Stay with me here. Let your soul rest in my presence, and let the truth of my love wash over you. The enemy's plan is already crumbling, and mine is perfectly on time. Keep listening, because I'm about to reveal the exact doors I'm opening for you next. I want to expose the exact tactics the enemy has been using against you lately. They have not come at you with loud, obvious destruction because they know you would recognize it and fight back. Instead, they have been slipping quietly into your thoughts, planting tiny seeds of doubt, inadequacy, and fear. They whisper in the quiet moments that your best days are behind you, that you have made too many mistakes to be used by me, and that this current season of struggle is your permanent reality. They want you to look at your bank account, your relationships, and your physical exhaustion and conclude that I have abandoned you. But hear my voice right now, speaking louder than any lie. Fear is not your future. The enemy wants you distracted by what is going wrong so that you cannot prepare for what is about to go incredibly right. When they cannot alter my plan for your life, they try to alter your perspective of it. They use overthinking, anxiety, shame, and spiritual fatigue to keep you paralyzed in a state of waiting. But I am declaring an end to your spiritual fatigue today. The heavy, suffocating blanket of anxiety that has been resting on your chest is being lifted by my spirit. You are not a failure for feeling overwhelmed. You are simply carrying a burden I never asked you to carry. Hand it over to me right now. I need you to prepare your heart, because a massive shift is coming. The season of weeping and silence is expiring. What was delayed in your life was not denied. The doors that were slammed in your face, the opportunities that seemed to vanish, the people who walked away, those were not rejections. They were my divine redirections, keeping you from settling for less than the ultimate blessing I have prepared for you. I am opening doors right now that no man, no system, and no enemy can ever shut. What was stolen from you is going to be restored, but it will not look like what you lost. It will be abundantly greater. Do not let the enemy convince you to leave the waiting room just moments before your name is called. Stay with me, because what I'm about to tell you next will completely change how you view your current situation, and I need your spirit to be completely open to receive it. I need you to remember who you truly are. The enemy attacks your mind so fiercely because they are terrified of your identity. They do not target empty vessels. They target those who carry a profound calling and a destiny that will shatter their dark kingdoms. You have looked in the mirror lately and seen only your flaws, your failures, and your fatigue. But when I look at you, my child, I see a warrior who has survived every weapon formed against them. You are mine. You are not defined by the mistakes of your past, the rejections you have endured, or the times you felt you were not enough. You are deeply loved, you are chosen, and you are held by a grace that will never let you go. I was holding you in those moments when you thought you would completely break. When you were crying on your bedroom floor, feeling completely invisible to the world, I was there, catching every single tear. I have never left you, not for a single second. The silence you experienced was never my absence, it was my deep, focused preparation of your spirit. You felt alone because the refining fire often requires isolation. But in that fire, I was burning away the things that would have destroyed you in your next season. I was removing the wrong people, breaking toxic attachments, and stripping away false foundations, so that what we build next can never be shaken. The enemy wants you to believe that you have to figure all of this out by yourself. They want you waking up anxious, trying to solve problems that I have already resolved in the spiritual realm. But you do not have to carry this alone anymore. I'm asking you today to surrender the heavy need to control the outcome. Exhale the pressure. Release the bitterness that has been building up in your heart toward those who hurt you, because holding on to it only anchors you to the past. You are stepping into a season of immense favor and protection, but there are specific things you must do to protect your peace as this shift occurs. The enemy will try one last desperate attempt to pull you backward through familiar distractions, and you must be ready. Stay with me, because I'm going to give you the exact instructions you need to navigate this beautiful, unprecedented season that is opening up right in front of you. Here are my instructions for you in this new season. First, I need you to completely trust me with the pieces of your life that you cannot figure out. When the enemy tries to send familiar distractions or sudden fears to derail your focus, I want you to close your eyes, take a deep breath, and stay incredibly close to me in prayer. Do not engage in spiritual battles that I have already won for you. When people misunderstand you or walk away, let them go. You must release any lingering bitterness, because you simply cannot carry the heavy baggage of yesterday through the new doors I'm opening for you today. Your only job right now is to stay anchored in my love and keep your eyes fixed entirely on my promises. I am declaring a profound, unbreakable peace over your mind and your household right now. The spiritual storm you have been enduring is officially running out of power. The heavy clouds of anxiety, doubt, and exhaustion are scattering. I pronounce divine restoration over your health, your finances, and your fractured relationships. Every step you take from this moment forward will be covered in my supernatural protection and unmerited favor. The breakthrough you have been crying out for is no longer just a distant hope. It is your present reality. The enemy thought they could break you, but they only succeeded in pushing you deeper into my arms. You are stepping into the greatest season of your life. If this message speaks directly to your spirit, if you feel my peace washing over you right now, I want you to type Amen in the comments to claim this breakthrough. Share this message with someone who feels tired, discouraged, or forgotten, because they need to know that I see their silent battles too. Subscribe to this channel for your daily Christian inspiration and prophetic messages, so you never miss what I am speaking over your life. Remember, my beloved child, you are entirely mine, and absolutely nothing can ever separate you from my love. Walk in complete peace today. Your victory is already here. My child, listen to me with absolute seriousness, not with fear. I need to reveal a deeper truth about the battle you have been fighting, because the distraction you are facing is far more dangerous than you realize. It is dangerous not because it is loud or terrifying, but because it works in complete silence. The enemy does not announce their arrival with chaos or destruction. Instead, they present themselves as the routine of normal life. They blend so smoothly into your daily schedule, your endless tasks, and your responsibilities that you do not even notice what they are slowly stealing from your soul day by day. This is why I am pressing into your heart with clarity and weight right now, because a subtle drift can cause far more damage than a sudden storm. The primary target of this subtle attack is your discernment. Discernment is the divine gift I gave you to sense what is true, what is aligned with my will, and what is safely meant for your life. When your discernment is sharp, you can instantly recognize when something is quietly pulling you away from my peace. You can feel when a thought does not come from me, and you can sense when a choice will cost you much more than it could ever give you. But constant distraction blunts that sharp edge. It creates a loud inner noise that makes everything feel equally urgent, blending the important with the unimportant until you stop noticing what deserves your sacred attention most. This spiritual erosion does not happen overnight, and that is precisely why it is so deceptive. It happens in tiny microscopic shifts that you barely register. You fill every quiet pocket of your day with noise, a screen, a message, a worry, until your mind feels completely full, but your heart remains profoundly empty. Over time, you stop checking in with your spirit. Spiritual numbness does not arrive as pitch darkness. It arrives as a slow, creeping dullness. You still show up. You still function. You still believe in me, but you feel less of my presence. Joy feels thinner. Conviction grows quieter, and my supernatural peace feels harder to grasp. You begin to accept this heavy exhaustion as your normal way of living, telling yourself that this is just how life has to be. But it does not have to be this way. I am here to awaken you gently before the weariness becomes complete numbness. Stay still with me for just a little longer, because there is a secret way out of this drift, and I want to share it directly with you. This slow drift is what concerns me the most, because a drift rarely feels dangerous until you look back and realize just how far you've moved from where you originally started. Noise has quietly replaced listening before you even realize it has happened in your daily life. You still hear so many voices, so many sounds, and so many conflicting opinions from the world around you. But you have stopped hearing mine clearly. This is not because I have stopped speaking to you, my child, but simply because there is no sacred space left for my voice to settle within your crowded mind. My voice remains steady. It is not frantic, it is not rushed, and it refuses to compete with the loud, demanding distractions of this world. When everything else around you grows louder and faster, my quiet whisper becomes much easier for you to overlook, even though my presence has never changed. I see how often you instinctively reach for noise without even thinking about it. You reach for a screen, you dive into another task, or you start a meaningless conversation. anything just to fill the quiet space. Silence has started to feel uncomfortable to you now, not because it is empty, but because it relentlessly exposes what you have been trying so hard to avoid. In the stillness of true silence, you are forced to notice your profound fatigue. You notice the heavy questions you carry and the deep, aching longing in your heart that has gone unanswered. Distraction keeps those vulnerable things at a distance, but keeping them at a distance does not heal them. I want you to know that I am not condemning you for this. I understand the immense cultural pressure you live under every single day. I understand how this fast-paced world constantly rewards your speed, your constant output, and your endless productivity. I know how resting can make you feel completely unproductive, and how quiet spaces can suddenly feel unsafe to a mind trained to worry. But I need you to see exactly what is happening right now, so you can choose a different path. This invitation does not come from a place of guilt, but from a place of divine wisdom. Constant distraction makes you so much easier to lead without your active consent. When you live without awareness, you unknowingly agree to things that are draining your spirit. You agree to carry chronic stress you were never meant to carry. You open your heart to voices that do not speak life, and you submit to rhythms that drain you slowly. Awareness breaks those toxic agreements instantly. This is precisely why the enemy relies so heavily on distraction. It keeps you from ever noticing what you are agreeing to carry. I have watched you push through exhausting days when your fragile heart was desperately crying out for rest. I have watched you ignore the small warnings I placed in your spirit because stopping felt completely impossible to you. I have watched you normalize this overwhelming state of exhaustion and proudly call it strength. That breaks my heart deeply. It breaks my heart not because you are weak, but because you are infinitely precious to me. You were never created to live a life constantly overwhelmed. You were created to live deeply connected to me. My beloved child, listen to me with absolute sincerity from the deepest parts of your heart, not with fear. I need to lift you up and carry away the heavy weight that has been crushing your soul at this very moment. You are not too busy to the point of pushing me away, and you have not failed just because your schedule is completely filled with countless worries and anxieties. Let go of all that guilt and shame right now, because those voices absolutely do not come from me. What you are experiencing is not a sign of a lack of devotion or a cold heart. It is something else entirely that has been quietly happening beneath the surface without your awareness. I see how often you blame yourself in total silence. You tell yourself that if you cared more about your spiritual life, you would have slowed down. If you were stronger, you would focus better. And if you were more disciplined, you would feel closer to me. But the voice accusing and criticizing you right now is not the truth. It completely ignores what is actually taking place under the surface of your life. Busyness itself is not the root of your problem. The core issue is the unseen pull that has been constantly competing for your attention every single day, draining your spirit without you even realizing it. There is a massive difference between responsibility and distraction, and I want you to understand this clearly so that your soul can be set free. Responsibility comes from love and the divine purpose I placed within you. It carries weight, but it always brings profound meaning to your life. In contrast, distraction steals away both the weight and the meaning of everything you do, leaving you with nothing but emptiness. Responsibility may tire your body, but it does not hollow out your soul. Distraction, however, leaves you completely exhausted in ways that even a long sleep cannot repair or heal. You have been confusing these two things, and that confusion has unknowingly sown seeds of self-condemnation into your mind instead of helping you stay alert to the enemy's tactics. You carry legitimate responsibilities that I have entrusted to you, people you must care for, tasks you must complete, and I never judge you for your immense effort. I honor your faithfulness in constantly showing up and trying to hold everything together. But alongside those rightful responsibilities, there has been a quiet, relentless pull from the enemy designed to fragment your focus, filling every empty space with noisy anxieties and refusing to let your soul rest even when your body has finally stopped moving. That is exactly why your mind feels so crowded and suffocating. The enemy cannot stop my plan for you, so their only strategy is to make you so weary that you decide to step back on your own. Stay right here with me, because the next chapter of your life requires a fully restored spirit, and I am about to show you exactly how to break that invisible pull. My child, I want you to take a quiet moment right now and look closely at the narrative you have been believing about your life lately. The enemy has been trying to write a counterfeit script for your future, and they have been reading it to you so constantly that you have started to accept it as your own voice. They whisper that your current season of struggle is your final destination. They point to your past mistakes, the broken pieces of your heart, and the doors that were shut in your face. And they tell you that you have missed my best for your life. They want you to look at the physical symptoms of your exhaustion, the tightness in your chest, the racing thoughts before sleep, the sigh that escapes your lips when you think no one is listening, and conclude that you are simply running out of time and strength. But I am stepping in right now to tear up that false script. I need you to understand a profound spiritual reality. The enemy cannot stop what I have planned for you. My blueprints for your life were designed before the foundations of the world were even laid. They were signed with absolute authority. And there is no human error, no earthly system, and no demonic strategy that can ever erase what I have written concerning your destiny. The enemy knows they cannot change my mind about you, and they cannot alter the blessings that have your name on them. Because they are completely powerless against my decree, their only option is to try and make you a co-signer to their lies. They need your agreement to make their illusions feel real. When you sit in the quiet and agree with their whispers of hopelessness, telling yourself that things will never get better, you unknowingly build a prison out of their words. But today my spirit is breaking the bars of that prison. I'm exposing the deception so that you can walk out into absolute freedom. Look back at your life through the lens of my grace. Every time the enemy tried to destroy you, I used it to develop you. Every time they tried to isolate you, I used it to protect you. The very seasons that felt like a desert were the times I was digging deep wells of resilience inside your soul. You are not empty. You are deeply prepared. Let the tension drain from your body right now. Let your heart stop fighting a battle that I have already won on your behalf. Stay right here with me, because I am about to show you how to guard this newly restored clarity from the subtle traps that are waiting in your tomorrow. My child, as we tear up that counterfeit script together, I need you to examine how you have been pacing your life lately. The enemy has conditioned you to believe that if you are not constantly moving, constantly producing, or constantly worrying, you are somehow falling behind. They have subtly twisted your beautiful, God-given sense of responsibility into a relentless whip that drives you straight into exhaustion. When you try to sit quietly with me, that familiar, anxious voice immediately whispers, "You should be doing something else. There is too much left undone. You don't have time to just sit here." But I want you to hear me clearly right now. That frantic urgency is absolutely not from me. I do not drive my sheep. I lead them gently beside quiet waters. I am calling you back into the sacred rhythms of grace. The enemy desperately wants you running on empty because an exhausted heart is highly reactive. When your spiritual and emotional reserves are completely depleted, a small delay feels like a massive crisis. A minor misunderstanding turns into a deep, agonizing emotional wound. A temporary moment of silence from heaven feels like absolute abandonment. They want your spirit so frayed that you begin to view your entire life through the narrow lens of survival rather than inheritance. But you are not a slave trying to earn my favor, nor are you a beggar trying to secure your survival through endless striving. You are a child of the Most High, and your future is already securely anchored in my unshakable sovereignty. The plans I have for you do not depend on your frantic efforts to make them happen. They depend entirely on my ability to perform what I've already promised. I need you to realize that choosing to pause and rest in my presence is not an act of weakness or a waste of precious time. It is a powerful, offensive act of spiritual warfare. When you deliberately step away from the noise, turn off the screens, and let your soul catch its breath, you're making a bold, authoritative declaration to the spiritual realm. You are telling the enemy, my life does not belong to the demands of this world. My security does not rest on my own striving. My God is on the throne, and I can afford to rest because he never sleeps. Every single time you choose stillness over frantic busyness, You are actively draining the power from the enemy's chief weapon of distraction. You are reclaiming the sacred territory of your mind. Let us begin to rebuild the quiet sanctuary inside your heart right now. It does not require you to change your entire external world today. It simply requires you to grant me access to the middle of your busy day. Bring your crowded thoughts, your long lists, and your unspoken anxieties directly into this space. Let my love settle over them like a calming, heavy blanket. The enemy thought they could keep you trapped in a perpetual cycle of inner noise until you slowly drifted out of alignment and fell apart. But look at you now. You are still here. Your heart is waking up to the truth, and your discernment is sharpening with every passing moment. Stay close to me, because as we move forward, I'm going to show you exactly how to walk through a crowded world without ever letting the crowd crowd your soul. My child, look at how far we have walked together in this conversation. Your spirit is beginning to breathe again, but I want to reach deeper into the hidden corners of your heart to address a very specific, silent worry that has been lingering there for a long time. It is the agonizing fear that somehow you have simply run out of time. The enemy loves to use the clock and the calendar as weapons against your peace. They whisper to you in your moments of exhaustion that it is too late for you. They point to the years that have passed, the dreams that seem to have dried up, the relationships that fell apart, and they tell you that you have missed your window of opportunity. They want you to look at your age, your energy levels, or your current financial standing and conclude that my best plans for you have permanently expired. But hear me clearly right now. I am the creator of time, and I am never rushed, nor am I ever late. The enemy cannot stop what I have planned for you, because my blueprints do not depend on human timelines. My promises do not have an expiration date. You have not derailed my sovereignty with your past mistakes, and you have not missed your destiny because of a delayed season. When I speak a word over your life, that word is anchored in eternity, and no earthly circumstance or demonic strategy can ever cancel it. The enemy tries to make you look at your current limitations, so you will believe that you are stuck. But I am the God of the late turnaround. I specialize in bringing dead things back to life, in opening rivers in the desert wasteland, and in restoring the years that the locusts have eaten. Every single disappointment you have endured was actually a hidden piece of a larger, divine realignment. The doors that locked in your face were not punishments. They were my hands protecting you from rooms that would have slowly poisoned your spirit. The people who walked away from you were not a loss. They were simply unauthorized to go where I'm about to take you. They could not handle the weight of the blessing I'm preparing to pour into your life. Stop mourning the old structures that had to fall apart. I am the ultimate architect, and I am clearing the rubble of your past to make room for a foundation that can never be shaken. Let go of the frantic pressure to catch up to the world's standards. You are right where you need to be, wrapped safely in my perfect timing. The resistance you are feeling right now is not because your time is up. It is because the enemy can see the massive, overdue breakthrough that is about to break through the horizon of your life. They know that when I move on your behalf, a single moment of my favor will instantly make up for decades of loss and struggle. Stay still with me here. Release the false burden of the ticking clock, and let my eternal peace settle deep into your bones. Your story does not end in this valley. My child, as we step further into this light of clarity, I want to speak to you about the people and the circumstances that have caused you the deepest pain. The enemy loves to use human hands to deliver their most wounding blows. They have used the rejection of those you loved, the betrayal of those you trusted, and the cold indifference of those you helped to make you feel like you are disqualified. You have spent years wondering what you did wrong, replaying old conversations in your mind, and trying to fix relationships that were broken from the start. But hear my voice today. I am your vindication. You do not need to fight for your reputation, nor do you need to prove your worth to people who are committed to misunderstanding you. The enemy cannot stop what I have planned for you, so they tried to use the opinions of others to make you stop yourself. They wanted you to accept the labels that people placed on you, labels of being too difficult, not enough, or a disappointment. But those labels do not belong to you. I have already stripped them away. I am setting a table for you in the very presence of those who doubted you, not to gloat, but to demonstrate my unshakable favor over your life. Those who counted you out will watch me count you in. The very places where you experience the highest level of shame are the exact places where I am preparing to pour out a double portion of my honor. No weapon formed against you shall prosper. This is not just a comforting verse. It is an eternal, legal decree in the spiritual realm. Stop trying to force open doors that I have intentionally locked to protect you. If someone walked away from your life, let them stay in your past. They were only meant to be a chapter in your story, not the final destination. I am bringing new alignment, divine connections, and destiny helpers into your life. People who will see your value, honor your spirit, and carry the weight of the blessing alongside you. You are moving out of the season of isolation and into a season of deep, meaningful community. The enemy's attempt to leave you lonely and broken has failed completely. Let your heart exhale the lingering bitterness right now. Forgive them, not because what they did was right, but because your future is too bright to be chained to their memory. You cannot run into the wide open spaces of your breakthrough if you are still carrying the heavy stones of resentment. I am healing your heart at the root today. Look up, my beloved child, because the people who hurt you do not hold the pen to your story. I do, and your greatest chapters are currently being written. My child, as we step further into this light of clarity, I want to speak to you about the people and the circumstances that have caused you the deepest pain. The enemy loves to use human hands to deliver their most wounding blows. They have used the rejection of those you loved, the betrayal of those you trusted, and the cold indifference of those you helped to make you feel like you are disqualified. You have spent years wondering what you did wrong, replaying old conversations in your mind, and trying to fix relationships that were broken from the start. But hear my voice today. I am your vindication. You do not need to fight for your reputation, nor do you need to prove your worth to people who were committed to misunderstanding you. The enemy cannot stop what I've planned for you, so they tried to use the opinions of others to make you stop yourself. They wanted you to accept the labels that people placed on you, labels of being too difficult, not enough, or a disappointment. But those labels do not belong to you. I have already stripped them away. I'm setting a table for you in the very presence of those who doubted you, not to gloat, but to demonstrate my unshakable favor over your life. Those who counted you out will watch me count you in. The very places where you experience the highest level of shame are the exact places where I am preparing to pour out a double portion of my honor. No weapon formed against you shall prosper. This is not just a comforting verse. It is an eternal legal decree in the spiritual realm. Stop trying to force open doors that I have intentionally locked to protect you. If someone walked away from your life, let them stay in your past. They were only meant to be a chapter in your story, not the final destination. I'm bringing new alignment, divine connections, and destiny helpers into your life. People who will see your value, honor your spirit, and carry the weight of the blessing alongside you. You are moving out of the season of isolation and into a season of deep, meaningful community. The enemy's attempt to leave you lonely and broken has failed completely. Let your heart exhale the lingering bitterness right now. Forgive them, not because what they did was right, but because your future is too bright to be chained to their memory. You cannot run into the wide open spaces of your breakthrough if you are still carrying the heavy stones of resentment. I am healing your heart at the root today. Look up, my beloved child, because the people who hurt you do not hold the pen to your story. I do, and your greatest chapters are currently being written. My child, as we continue to heal the wounds left by others, I want to take you even deeper into the architecture of your breakthrough. I want to talk about the invisible cycles and generational walls that have tried to confine your life for as long as you can remember. The enemy loves to study patterns. They look at your family history, the struggles of those who came before you, and the recurring battles that seem to pass down through generations. They whisper to you that you are bound to repeat the same mistakes, inherit the same anxieties, and suffer from the same financial limitations or health struggles. They want you to look at the patterns of brokenness around you and say, "This is just who we are. This is just how my life is supposed to look." But hear my voice breaking through that ancient illusion today. The enemy cannot stop what I have planned for you, because my plan is not dependent on where you come from. It is dependent entirely on who I am. Today, I am declaring a supernatural end to the generational cycles of fear, poverty, scarcity, and emotional trauma that have tried to claim your bloodline. You are not the continuation of your family's struggles. You are the designated cycle breaker. I chose you to see this message because I am using your life to draw a hard line in the sand. What stopped your parents will not stop you. What broke those who came before you will only serve as a footstool for your elevation. I am shifting you out of a restrictive survival mindset, where you are constantly waiting for the next crisis to hit, and I am establishing you in an inheritance mindset. You are an heir to the kingdom of heaven, and your provisions are backed by the limitless wealth of my glory. Behold, I am doing a new thing, now it springs forth. Do you not perceive it? The enemy tried to build an ancestral wall around your potential, but my favor is a battering ram that shatters every barrier. Stop looking at your current situation through the small, limited lens of what your past dictates. The deep, internal exhaustion you feel right now is simply the friction of the old era rubbing against the glorious new season that is breaking through. Your spirit is being expanded to hold a level of blessing, peace, and abundance that no one in your family line has ever witnessed before. You are not going backward, my child. The ground underneath your feet is shifting into a firm, unshakable foundation. Rest your mind from the exhausting pressure to figure out how this breakthrough will manifest. I have already mapped out every single step, secured every provision, and cleared every roadblock. Hold my hand tightly in this moment. Let the deep peace of my presence quiet the lingering echoes of past struggles, and step boldly into the boundless freedom of your destiny. My child, now that you see the generational walls crumbling and the false pressure of the ticking clock losing its tight grip over your mind, I want to take you to the final layer of your divine preparation. You have spent so many years playing defense. You have lived in a state of constant hypervigilance, always waiting for the next shoe to drop, always bracing yourself for the next wave of sorrow, betrayal, or lack. The enemy trained you to live as a professional survivor. But I did not call you to merely survive the dark valleys of this world. I anointed you to walk through them with the quiet authority of a conqueror. The enemy cannot stop what I have planned for you, and because you have stayed with me in this sacred stillness, your eyes are finally opening to the sheer scale of the territory I am returning to your hands. I am shifting you right now from a position of reacting to the enemy's chaos to a position of dictating the peace of your environment. You are no longer at the mercy of the atmospheres you walk into. You are now the one who carries my presence to transform them. When you walk into a room filled with anxiety, my peace within you will silence it. When you encounter situations designed to trigger your old insecurities, your newly restored identity will anchor you instantly. The subtle traps of distraction that used to drain you for weeks will now be exposed within seconds by your sharpened discernment. The enemy is not looking at you as an easy target anymore. They are looking at you with trembling fear because a believer who is fully awake, fully aware, and deeply rested in my love is an unstoppable force of light. You might feel a slight tremor of uncertainty in your spirit as you realize how massive this shift truly is. A quiet voice might try to whisper one last desperate doubt. What if you can't maintain this peace? What if the old habits of worry creep back tomorrow? But hear me clearly. This transformation does not depend on your human strength to sustain it. I am the one who began this good work in you, and I am the one who will carry it to perfect completion. The seal of my supernatural protection is permanently set upon your life, your mind, and your loved ones. You are no longer walking in your own fragile capacity. You are moving forward clothed in my unshakable armor. Take a deep, intentional breath right now and feel the heavy armor of the world slipping away, replaced by the effortless weight of my glory. You are fully equipped, fully protected, and perfectly positioned for the final unfolding of my promise. My child, look at what we have accomplished together in this sacred space of stillness. Your spirit is no longer the heavy, fragmented vessel that first opened this message. You are standing tall, fully awake, completely aware, and deeply anchored in the unshakable truth of my sovereign plan. The enemy spent entire seasons trying to convince you that you were broken beyond repair, that you were running out of time, and that the quiet drift of distraction would be your final resting place. But today, Their illusions have been completely dismantled by the absolute light of my presence. They desperately wanted you to scroll past, but you stayed. You chose presence over noise, truth over delay, and my voice over the chaotic demands of this world. That single choice has broken the invisible chains that were quietly draining your life. As you step back into the rhythm of your daily life, I need you to carry this divine clarity with you as an unshakable shield. Do not lay down your awareness. The enemy may try to whisper the old familiar lies of anxiety or scarcity tomorrow, but they will find no entry point because your heart is now securely guarded by my perfect love. You are no longer playing defense against the darkness. You are walking in the full, effortless authority of my favor. The doors I am opening for you in this new era cannot be blocked by human hands, earthly delays, or generational cycles. What I have planned for you is already manifesting in the spiritual realm, and it is springing forth into your physical reality with supernatural speed and precision. Your season of weeping in secret is officially over. Your season of divine restoration, unshakable peace, and boundless breakthrough has arrived. Receive my final blessing over your life, your household, and your future today. I pronounce divine health over your body, supernatural overflow over your finances, and deep restorative healing over every broken relationship in your past. Every step you take from this moment forward is covered by my angels and saturated with my grace. You are completely safe, infinitely loved, and eternally mine. If your spirit is fully ready to step into this glorious new season, if you feel the weight has finally lifted from your heart, type Amen in the comments right now to seal this breakthrough forever. Share this powerful message with a tired or discouraged soul who needs to remember that I see their silent battles too. And subscribe to this channel for your daily Christian inspiration and prophetic words, so we can continue to guard your peace together every single day. Walk in absolute confidence, my beloved child. The battle is won, the victory is yours, and the enemy cannot stop what I have planned for you. Go in peace.